Hello, everybody. So there's been an amazing announcement today from THQ Nordic, and it is nothing other than an announcement for a new Jagged Alliance game. And they have released a trailer, they have set up a website, and I don't know when the game is going to be released, possibly next year. I think they've been working for some time. I can definitely see from the trailer. So yeah, so let's see. Let's see what contains, and you're gonna hear a bit of my commentary here as well. Going to be rewinding forward and back in order to say my piece here on what I think about this new game coming from THQ Nordic. So yeah, I recently covered some Jagged Alliance games after I have finished my LP of Jagged Alliance 2 and was kind of disappointed that the games that bore the name Jagged Alliance were not that great, or they basically abandoned wholesale what made the game great. So I was like wondering when THQ Nordic is going to finally make good on the purchase of this brand. And lo and behold, I mean, just like as if they have listened to clamors from the fans like me, they have released a trailer. I think this is probably in keeping with their 10th anniversary or something. But they have released a trailer like this, and then the other familiar characters are coming back. The chief among them being Igor or Ivan. Yeah, so I'm really surprised that they decided to not relaunch the Alliance, but then decide to put a number after it, like 3. So I mean, there's really no going back. I don't know how the lore is going to work. I'm sure that Rage is going to probably be thrown out the window now. I don't know about flashback, but that's probably long past memory here. And you can see the bit of combat. Sorry if this is rather abrupt rewind. And you can see the characters here. This is Buns. So Buns is here with the sniper rifle. Fidel's there as well. Ivan, Vicky. I think Vicky Waters. She definitely changed her appearance. And something called Snipe. I don't know what this means. Maybe it has to do with some special skills or some kind of communication thing that the mercs use, like radio. And yeah, so you can see that this is basically using the XCOM once again. So it's like Rage. And I believe, I think from the impression is that they're gonna kind of use the recent development in tactical strategy such as XCOM, and also from the previous Jagged Alliance games, Rage, and also maybe a bit of flashback in order to bring the third one to the franchise. So this is basically XCOM interface. Even the enemy indicator is XCOM. This means that there's 3 enemies about, and you can, from Ivan's perspective, you can see 2 of them with the corresponding hit percentage. So there's 1 and 2 here. You can see 2 enemies, and you can see I think this is the level indicator. You're on the ground level, and this is posture. You can crouch and also be prone. And this is shooting, grenade, healing, and this is Overwatch. And this is probably pinging. I don't know what it exactly would do, but probably reveal more enemies in the environment, in the map. I think this is probably one of the perks that he has. And he's carrying an AK, what else? And I think this can be also fitted with some attachment for more power. I don't think this is going to be that accurate, as accurate as, how Jagged Alliance 2 did, or the mod did. But then it's going to have some attachment, and also the upgrade options available. And this is backpack. And I'm sure that the backpack is going to divide into the merc inventory and squad inventory, like flashback. I thought that was a rather good idea, and I think hopefully it's going to return. Yeah, so all these characters are here, and I think, unfortunately, from what I see from the characters, I don't think adding armor or something like that would change their appearance. It's just my hunch. I don't think it's gonna change their appearance. So you can see from here, they have expanded the amount of body parts that you can aim. So finally moving into the modern times, hand, arm, hand and arm, head, torso, lower body part, and foot. And this presents itself a rather interesting opportunity to maybe shoot the weapons out of their hands, maybe make them not be able to approach you in melee range by shooting the foot and decreasing their agility. You can also choose the burst and single shot, and I think this is like full on auto for more devastating firepower at the cost of accuracy. And you can see that, yeah, you can see the burst fire modifiers. Yeah, so this is the pre-standard fare. And you can see the bullets going past the enemy. Maybe you can hit multiple enemies using the armor piercing ammo. Hopefully there will be different class of ammo too. So make quick work of that Marauder. And here Fidel is going there with 4 AP, I think. So you can see the AP. And the health level, as you can see, is also a part of XCOM thing going on here. So yeah, Bonds, for example, has less health than Fidel. Fidel has this amount of health. I guess if you get hit once, then this block or box drops or disappears. So to make everything simple. And if you heal, then the block will be restored, or it can be more than one block restored. You can see the environment here, the little bit of a chromatic aberration or something going on here if you're like trying to choose your skill, which is pretty cool touch. You can throw multiple grenades, part of the skill of Fidel, and this is rather interesting that there's 28% chance. So even grenade throwing has some chance attached to it, some RNG attached to it, which is pretty good. Yeah, and then the Marauder is dead. Nice ragdoll effect. But then I didn't really see the grenade exploded, but the rest of the environment just stayed static, which is I mean, you know, this is just the beta, probably maybe alpha, just showing the really early versions of the game, so there'll be no environmental destruction in the trailer. But you can see the barrels here, especially the red barrels with oil spilled from it, so maybe there'll be some explosions, some environmental destruction where you can have a different entry point into the building, such as you know, this hangar structure and also more concrete reinforced structure such as this. Really interesting if you're able to use C4 and other explosive skill in order to, yeah, expand our options defeating enemies. Yeah, you can see that this, you know, I'm just nitpicking, but this could be like basically the same thing as this one, for example. So, I mean, I do really like the different elevation, more than like 2 or 3 levels elevation here, and it looks like there's like a mine here where you can get some income. Sniper here, maybe important aspect of strategy once again. Yeah, I can definitely see that where they could just try to clamber up on these ledges and then find another way in for a more stealthy approach. There are, you know, more different elevation levels, so then you can have more advantage if you're on higher ground, for example. Maybe you can drive this or something. That'd be awesome. Or you can trigger some kind of explosion. Yeah, so this is the AIM database, AIM screen. And I can see that there are a lot of characters returning. Tex, for example, is returning. I think he was a MERC Merc, the Specs organization Merc. And it looks like since he's in AIM, he's returning to AIM. I think the Specs organization is basically gone, unfortunately. So I don't think there is no return for Merc. Hopefully he does return in some form, but not holding my breath. Maybe they're thinking about expansions and stuff like that if this becomes popular enough, and hopefully it does. Interesting thing is that the mercs are divided into levels, the experience levels. So do you have a recruit, veteran, elite, and legendary? And Igor is considered veteran. Igor is Ivan's nephew. So you can see MD returning. I don't know who Falda is. Maybe she was one of the medic. I'm not so sure. I don't think she was in Jagged Alliance 2, but could be wrong. I see Steroid. Yeah, Steroid. This is Buns. Red, text, and you can see their specialties, so you don't really get confused. In Jagged Alliance 2, you could organize the mercs based on their skill levels, such as marksmanship, medical skills, explosion skills, so on and so forth. But here it is divided into just experience level. From there you can see offset what their specialty is. Yeah, so I think there's 3 or 4 specialties: explosion, sniping, medic, and maybe I don't know what else there could be. But you can set different days instead of just going for like 1 day, 1 week, 2 weeks. So this is a rather interesting thing. And you can see it actually offers a bit of discount, but not much. If you go to 2 weeks, which is the extreme end of the contract length, then you can see that you save some more money. Medical insurance and skill levels. Yeah, you can see that these numbers are back. So actually, these numbers are exactly the same as in Jagged Alliance 2. I checked, and Igor's numbers are basically the same. So this is health, agility, dexterity, strength, and leadership, and wisdom, marksmanship, mechanical, explosives, medical. So experience level was part of the skill, but then now they kind of organize it so that it is more prominent, and then they use it to divide the mercs into different categories. So I think they did a pretty good job there. And I think here, just below the skill levels, I think there will be like background information, weaknesses, character, maybe. I don't know whether character is going to be in, but then it'd be pretty cool if they actually include characters and let mercs interact with each other. And maybe it'd be nice if they actually go back to first Jagged Alliance where the mercs can actually really harm each other and just quit or something if their friend or their uncle quits. It'd be pretty cool if you actually have that available as an option. Yeah, Igor is actually a pretty good merc to start with. And you can see the starting equipment. Yeah, starting equipment. Yeah. So anything else? I don't know what M means. I think could be. I don't know. I'm not so sure. I'm drawing a blank. But all the familiar mercs are back, which is really good news. I'm really happy that MD is back. And you can see more environment, sun-baked, some local scene here. Wish the game actually allows you to make some cool environmental destruction happening. I think current modern technology allows for that. I don't know what engine they use, but even games like, for example, Iron Storm, I think, or I think some kind of storm. I'm not so sure exactly, but there's some games where they're definitely environmental destruction, and it'd be awesome if Jagged Alliance 3 has such destruction going, so you can actually break through the windows or blow up the hole, just like I mentioned in the previous showcase of the environment here in their base here. Hopefully you can blow up some things, find different entryways, and create all kinds of debris. But it's really nice that civilians are going about in their everyday business, playing soccer, playing football, and doing their things, going about their business. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So Jagged Alliance is coming back, folks. I don't know exactly when it's going to be, but it's going to be very interesting to see how it shapes up. And they put a number back here, so basically they're really leaving their mark on the franchise, and hopefully it's going to be a good one after years of, I guess, I don't know, I won't call it like abyss, but years of purgatory that this IP was in. Hopefully it comes back just like the new XCOM, and then become another pillar of turn-based strategy. I'd be really happy if that happens. So there was a look into Jagged Alliance 3. Not much information is available. You can check the website. It is basically, they're just saying all the good things, all the things that you expect from a strategy games, but I'd like to see whether more features will be included. From what I see, my first impression is rather positive. I think it's going to be, I'm not saying this just because I played these two games, but then I think it's going to be kind of in the mix between Flashback and Rage, but then with a lot of polish. And I think it's going to make a pretty decent game. It's not going to be like Jagged Alliance 2 that we all know and love, but I think it has a potential to become a pretty decent game, and kind of coming back to form for the franchise. I mean, just that they're releasing a game like this, spending money and tapping Tropico developer to at least take care of the strategy side of things. I mean, Tropico is an economic simulator as much as city building simulator. So I mean, if they get the strategic part right, and strategic layer is a big part of Jagged Alliance 2, then I say it's 50% of the game, not 50%, maybe 40% of the game is basically done and be successful. They have a potential to be great, basically. And if they take care of, for example, like details such as mercs interaction with each other, their interaction with the locals, how the quest will be managed, whether it's going to be interesting quest, whether there will be some variety of quest, there will be different environments, different weather effects, and all the variable factors that go into your merc's performance, for example, environmental destruction. Yeah, I mean there will be, I guess, icing on the cake. But then from what I see from the battlefield options and gameplay, what short gameplay they showed, I think they're going for just XCOM. I think it's kind of safe choice, but I think it's the right choice in my opinion. I would prefer that they show, for example, here, like instead of enemy indicator, I would be much more interested in seeing side indicators. But I mean, if they're following the XCOM interface, and they probably will have to just go with it. I don't know exactly how many mercs will be part of this, but I can definitely see that there will be no 8-man squad here. This just doesn't fit. I think at most it's going to be 6 men per squad, and that was the original number per squad. I'd be happy with 6, but even from the map here, just doesn't seem like there will be doesn't really feel like it's going to accommodate 6. Like, these maps, I don't know whether you can zoom out. I think you can zoom out, but then I think they could accommodate 6. I think they can definitely make 6 work here, but it seems rather cramped. 6 here? I'm not so sure. Yeah, and then another thing was that even in the tactical layer, there was a real-time mode and then the combat mode, which is turn-based. I think there will be some kind of real-time thing happening on the tactical level. I'm really interested to see how they're going to manage the the dynamic between the two modes, real-time and turn-based. Because in Jagged Alliance 2, when I was in turn-based and then the battle kind of reaches a lull, then it turns back to real-time, and that's when the fun happens, where I really don't know where the enemy is, and then it's just back to the hunting mode, back to the stalking mode, which allowed me to not only get some breath for myself and the merc, but kind of organize things a bit, find some weapons on the ground and stuff like that, but also kind of be more vigilant about where the enemy is going to be, because they move around, they hear the sound. And games like this, like XCOM games, if you're in a battle, you're just going through the enemies one by one until the very end. There's no going back to real time. So I wonder whether the dynamic is going to be where you can have a stop and go type of deal, where you can have the battle, then a bit of a rest, and then the battle once again, the same map. But I don't know. I'm not so sure how it's going to shape up. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to see what it's going to be like. And then you can see the different skills for different guys. And if this, I mean, these kind of things are pretty great. I wonder if you have an IMP here. Could be possible you have an IMP. Yeah, I think there'll be an IMP. I think it's a tradition of Jagged Alliance. So, I mean, from the second game at least. So I'm very excited about the game, and apparently the enemy faction name is Legion, and the enemy leader's name is Basil. So at least we know that. Yeah, so Jagged Alliance 3 coming hopefully next year, and yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. Really interesting news coming from THQ Nordic. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to say about Jagged Alliance 3. Hopefully we get more information down the road. Hopefully there'll be a lot of buzz and excitement about it. So at least, you can... so at least there's more interest in the franchise now. And maybe people will be interested in playing the Jagged Alliance 2 as well. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.